What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about cash offers. You've probably seen the bandit signs on the street intersections. You've probably seen advertisements on social media. You might have seen infomercials on cable TV, or even some of the websites are offering cash, like one of the major real estate websites I was on earlier today. I just went to see exactly what's going on, and they've got it in big, flashing red letters, get your cash offer now for your home. I want to talk to you about cash offers, specifically the pros, the cons, who a cash offer might be good for, and who a cash offer probably isn't good for. We want to walk you through this so that you can, as you go through and you decide you want to click on one of these things, or you want to call one of these numbers, or maybe even you receive a phone call about a cash offer, you can decide whether this is going to be right for you when selling your home. Okay, so let's talk about pros. Number one, first pro is it's cash. I mean, it's cash and it's a quick close. So literally it's very unobtrusive to you as a homeowner. They pretty much come out and they give you an offer after they take a look at your property, either by pictures or in person. You get a cash offer, you decide, yes, I want to accept it. And then you really don't hear from them again until closing date. There might be one inspection here or there. Sometimes they don't even come in the home to do these inspections. But like I said, it's very unobtrusive, so they don't bother you and mess up your lifestyle. It's cash, so it's pretty quick to close. A lot of times it's 10 days, 2 weeks. Typically, we don't see it go more than 2 to 3 weeks, depending on certain circumstances. And I mean, you get your money really quickly, all right, so that you can move on to the next. Now, let's talk about some of the cons of cash offers. Probably the biggest one that people struggle to realize, or you might realize it, but you're just hopeful that this isn't going to happen to you, it's that the offer is typically lower than the market value, almost always. In fact, I would argue that it always is, but nothing's 100% these days, right? So you can look forward to probably somewhere between 20, and then I've seen some that are even 50% below the market value on their offers, all right? So they're cash, it's easy, we're gonna close fast, but I gotta come down on the price a little bit because of the convenience. I call this the convenience tax, all right? So that's probably the most important thing to note, is that it's just gonna be below what you could sell it for on the open market, majority, 99.999% of the time, okay? The other side of it is that sometimes they'll have an inspection done on the property and then they'll renegotiate with you again. And so you might get that initial offer and it's 20% below the market value, and then they inspect it and say, well, there's a few things going on with your property, so I need to bump it down another 10%. All right, and oftentimes we see that sometimes from those inspections, the renegotiations are a little bit inflated over what it would actually cost to get those repaired, just to kind of help them deal with the mess that will be doing these repairs to get it ready for the market. So keep in mind, these cash offers come from investor types. What they do is they buy your home, they go through and do what they want to do to it, and then they turn around and flip it and put it back on the open market and try to sell it for the market value. That's the business model in a nutshell, okay? So they're not bad, or there's nothing wrong with it. It's just understanding who it's going to be good for and whether you are the type of person that it's good for. So now let's talk about that. Let's talk about who a cash offer is not for. That way, if you fall into this category, you can just stop the video, go about your day, and you don't have to listen to any more of it. And then we'll talk about who might benefit from it. All right, so first and foremost, if you've lived in your home and it's less than about 10 years old, you may not qualify, you may not be a good candidate for a cash offer. The reason is, typically these investors are looking for homes with some deferred maintenance. That's not to say they'll walk away from it. It's just they're, like I said, going to offer you less. And so if you've only lived there, or your home's only a couple of years old, a few 10 years old or less, it's probably not going to be the offer that you want to see in order to make enough money to give you a down payment for your next property, ideally. All right, if your home is in good working order, if you take really good care of your home, you've remodeled it recently, you keep the air conditioner operating and maintenance, you take care of the water heater, you keep the grass cut, you kind of do those basic homeowner maintenance items that we teach, typically it's probably not good to accept a cash offer from one of these advertisements, because again, it's going to be below the market value. And you're going to be able to sell your home if you decided to around the market value, or a little bit less or a little bit more, depending on where you're at and what's going on currently. All right. So this is who is not good for cash offers. Basically, if you're taking really good care of your property, if you've got your equity built up, you have no problems making your payments, you're living there, it's recently updated, rock and roll, you probably don't need a cash offer. All right, you're going to sell in the open market. All right, guys, let's talk about who a cash offer might be good for. If you've lived in your home 50-something years, you've never done any updates, the plumbing's making noises, some of the light switches don't come on when you're flipping them, you're not sure about the roof or the foundation, cash offer might be good for you, okay? Reason being, it sounds like you might have a case of some deferred maintenance. That's okay, it happens to the best of us. But these guys come in, they make life a lot easier because they'll just pay you cash. They'll deal with fixing that plumbing, taking care of electrical, roofs and foundations. They take care of all that, and then they'll sell it on themselves on the open market. Meanwhile, you've got your cash and you can run off into the sunset, being none the wiser. All right? That's the ideal candidate for a cash offer. Another situation is if you're facing foreclosure, sometimes you get forced into having to take these. We really hate to see those. I like to know when people are approaching foreclosure because sometimes I can get in there and rescue you. But those are sometimes situations where you need to accept the cash offer, especially if it's a short sale or the bank will agree to it to keep you from having all those credit impacts. All right, so that's a kind of a negative situation, but foreclosure is a reason to accept a cash offer. Okay, the other one is you can't physically get your home prepared, or you don't want to, and you don't want to go through all of the process of showing your property, doing the open houses, the things that come with putting your home on the market. So if you can't physically get prepared for the open market, or you just are kind of lazily don't want to, then cash offer might be good for you. Again, they're going to offer you below the market value. It's their troubles and their times is why, but they'll make it really easy for you, and you just take your cash and get out of the way and go about your day. They'll take care of it from there. All right, so there's one thing I want to talk about that's the reason that people click on all of these cash offer ads, or they call the numbers, or they receive the phone calls, whatever the case is, how they got to you doesn't matter. But here's what goes through your mind, and you can tell me if you're relatable. Tell me in the comments. You've received a call, you've clicked on an ad, and then you finally get a hold of someone and they say, hey, I'm here to talk to you about a cash offer. And you say, yes, I'll take a cash offer as long as, it's my price and then the terms are right. And that right there is the key. They've sort of hooked you now, and they're still going to try, but in your mind you went, man, I want to accept a cash offer that's my price from someone who's going to come live in my home. You didn't realize that it might be a group or an investor who's thinking about buying your house. So think about this, guys. Have you, or when you went to buy a home, did you stop and go, I'm going to create a website or an advertisement on cable TV and go, hey, I'm buying homes for cash? You had the cash and you were out there looking for homes. You probably didn't, okay? In fact, I don't know anybody that has to date, and I've been a part of quite a few different deals. So here's the thing. You are hopeful that these cash offers are going to be, top dollar market value for your home, and make it really easy to get you out, and that's just not realistic, okay? It's just not realistic. I'm sorry to tell you, but I'm going to tell you truthfully, it's not realistic. Don't fall for that advertisement if that's what you're hoping for. All right? The best place to get a cash offer from a buyer who's going to move into your home and pay your price is on the open market. In fact, 11% of homes that sold last year were cash buyers who moved into the property and occupied the property, and they bought them off the open market. That's where the buyers search. They go to their real estate agent, they go to the real estate websites, and they search. They don't open ads up. Most of the time they don't. That might be a good strategy to try. Maybe you should try it. But they typically don't. They look at what's on the market, what someone's saying is available, and then they'll go and make offers accordingly with their cash that way. And again, it's about 11% of buyers out there. That's actually trickled down from the past few years, probably because the interest rates, even though you might not agree with this recently, but over the past 3 or 4 years, interest rates have been relatively low. And so people have been kind of leveraging that ability to borrow cash and borrow money as opposed to just using all of their cash. And so they're taking small loans out, things like that. It happens a lot. Hey, I hope you found this video insightful. If you did, subscribe, like, leave me a comment, interact with me in some way. If you're seeing this on my newsletter, reply back to the newsletter, give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's a topic you want me to talk about. I'm happy to give you all the information in the skinny, all things real estate related.